bans like Claude, Kaya. We're gonna see Gushin ban, maybe a Leomord as well, Harith, and yeah, like what I said, Harith. Before the stream started, you asked which hero is like the most irritating to be up against. I answered Harith because his ult, his unlimited shielding. I personally do not want to go up against that, so usually Harith is either first or second ban, and we're just gonna wait for the other bans to come up. Do you want to see a Claude in this showdown?
Maybe Claude does provide a lot of damage for whichever team is on, but with the carry being banned out here, it might signal a Claude pick from either team. Of course, one marksman who's very, very strong already removed will allow him to shine even more. But interestingly enough, only one ban towards heroes that can initiate, those tanky sort of heroes. But maybe that'll change after we see this final ban.
Alright, that's true. So, there's these three heroes that I call the boy band. That is Gushin, Claude, and Leomord. So these three always gets banned, but we shall wait and see which is the last ban. And they banned out Gushin, so that leaves Claude and Leomord open. That could probably be a priority for No Limit. I think there's a decent chance you're gonna pick out Claude or Leomord. Between Claude or Leomord though, which do you prefer?
I feel like Claude. I prefer Claude more, honestly. Being a marksman, just providing a lot of damage for your team. But it seems like Cho will be the selection here for No Limit. We didn't see Cho during our first best of three. Was banned on both games, but with him being enabled now, maybe we get to see some plays come out here from No Limit. Let's see what Exodus decides to go for here. They do have two picks. That's the Claude.
Alright, so I'm honestly surprised that they prioritized Cho because they literally just gave out Claude and Leomord, the two main and contested damage dealers for Mobile Legends. But let's wait and see how things are gonna pan out. Let's see what's the draft they have in mind. First, a Hovren Harley and a Hovren Kagura. You mentioned that you kind of want to see more Kagura plays earlier, right? First from the umbrella and her shielding.
Yeah, last time I was casting Mobile Legends, I saw a lot of Kagura play from teams, but during the first series, we never saw any bit of her. But right now, these teams both going pretty standard here. None of those off-meta picks, in my opinion. After that first series where we saw stuff like Rafaela, the Diggy, this is a bit more standard, a bit more controlled. Yeah.
It's more balanced or something we all kind of expect. But, it all comes down to how the team will perform and how they're going to pull this off. And we're just waiting for the last lock-in for... Oh, okay. Angela and Leomord is something me and Rockhard would always say because most of the time I play Angela and Rockhard goes as Leomord. And Leomord frontline, imagine if Angela ults onto him, so that means more shielding, and he is actually really sturdy at the front lines. Imagine in a fight, Leomord goes in, Claude pops his ult, and Harley's just in the back line throwing his cards and his
team is picking.
His ult, yeah. And so far so good for Ops Exodus, I guess. I really like the lineup, but for No Limit, what are your thoughts?
I see a lot of initiation on the side of No Limit. They have the Akai on their side, they have the Cho, so definitely a lot of knockbacks into the rest of their team, Lolita as well. But I feel like in terms of damage, once this game goes towards the later stages, not having a marksman on their side might mean that they will lack in that department. Consider that Exodus do have a lot of damage dealers on their side, so I feel like in terms of scaling, I'd have to favor Exodus. But how about you, Yuko? Who you got for this first game?
I honestly prefer Ops Exodus because No Limits draft is okay, but if you just compare it to Ops Exodus, it's pretty much, it's pretty much game. But then again, anything can happen once the game starts. So let's just wait and see how No Limit will pull this draft off. I personally love the idea that they managed to get the Cho and Akai combo. So, but for Ops Exodus, and not forget, they have Leomord, Claude, and they also have a Minotaur to top things off.
Yeah, and you did mention on the side of Ops Exodus, they have the Leomord and the Angela combo. What would you call that combo?
I actually I'm thinking of a ship name, but I haven't thought of anything yet. But usually when Leomord pops his Phantom Steed, Angela goes up to him, shields him, and like what I said earlier, he's just there at the front line, wrecking, slowing down the enemies, and just getting as much life steal as you can.
Yeah.
If they have that on the front line with the Minotaur, imagine him popping his ult as well. So much crowd control, so much difficulty to actually escape once Ops Exodus initiates a team fight. So that's good for them, but let's wait and see how No Limit can, I guess,
All
counter
troops
the
deployed.
possible initiates that Ops Exodus will do. So anyway, here we go. Early game. We won't be expecting much. Everyone's just gonna farm. Everyone's just actually gonna be chill. And do you expect any combos here?
We're gonna see a combo here. There's already a lot of damage onto
Initiate
Toshiro,
retreat.
but gonna back off pretty much fine. Nothing much burn, just a bit of HP loss, but like you mentioned, there's a big front line for Obs Exodus here, and I think it's gonna be a challenge for No Limit to actually break through that front line, or maybe they can go the other route and just completely ignore the front line. Try to use the Akai and Cho to separate the members of Exodus here and try to dive the backline with their carries here, but we'll see once the game does pan out, of course.
Alright, that is true. So like what I said earlier, Leonor and Angela's probably gonna be together. They're either, I think they're actually the ones in charge of roaming around while Claude is just in the bot lane. But here we go, the top lane. This is a 3v2 situation. Harley pops his flicker, but he is still being
Initiate
contested,
retreat.
but manages to get away. Alright, so far so good. Minotaur managed to protect this Harley. That was a unsuccessful gank for No Limit.
Yeah, I'd say only the flicker gonna be taken there, so maybe if they try to go for a repeat, they can
Initiate
catch
retreat.
out there, but they're gonna see a fight in the mid lane. Numbers advantage for No Limit.
Alright, here we go. Kamatis is actually being boxed in, but manages to get away. Angela, just in the time with that second ult, managed to protect her Leomord to safety. Here at the bot lane, one of the things I actually like about Tamos is early game, he's kind of hard to go up against because there is
Initiate
of the
retreat.
first skill, and if he does manage to get the farm and itemizations that
Turtle
he needs,
resurrecting soon.
first half of mid game to late game, he's so tanky, he's
First
super
blood.
hard to take down. First blood though goes to Tamos, managed to take down this Claude. That says something.
Yeah, and you know, we were just talking about how difficult it was to go up against Tamos in the early game, and already the Claude going down. A bit of an overextension there. We saw he tried to recall earlier, but are we gonna see a dive here? It's very aggressive by No Limit.
Very aggressive indeed. Muno blast to the air, I guess, and Angela did pop her ult, but it just wasn't enough. Here though, apparently, OpX is just trying to get the revenge kill. He's getting boxed in, and he does
Double
go
kill.
down. Now, Kagura is the only one left alive.
Initiate retreat.
He most probably have to leave now. Here at the bot lane, this Claude is
Initiate
having
retreat.
a hard time staying alive against this Tamos. So, if No Limit has a plan of actually
Launch
shutting
attack.
down Claude early game, so far so good for them. Another kill. That's 0-2 for this Claude.
Yeah, we're gonna see more fighting here. Will Leomord be able to get away here from the Akai? The Panda is chasing him down. Has no steed right now. I feel like he is.
That's true.
Shut down.
Just pop his ultimate, and that's another kill for No Limit. Remember what I said earlier that I actually prefer Obs Exodus draft? I still do prefer their draft, but it seems that No Limit here in the early game, they know what they're doing. They just know what to do, how to play around this draft, and now they are this turtle. Is Minotaur gonna contest this? I don't think he can, but here we go. Lolita pop his Numinum Blast,
Oh, the
but
steal.
Claude managed to steal this turtle. Is this gonna be around to our state? Are they still gonna fight? This is a 2v3, but Angela got boxed in and was slain by Kagura. Now, okay, everyone chill, because I think they are being forced onto fights that they can't actually commit to yet.
Yeah, of course. Like you mentioned, Obs Exodus, they are being forced to challenge these objectives, but No Limit, I think they have the knowledge that they can take any of these fights. They know they have the advantage in terms of initiation. They know they can dictate when these fights happen, but Obs Exodus, they need to pick their spots here. They can't just roll into every fight that No Limit challenges them to.
That's true. Here we go. Leomord pop his Phantom Steed, but and manages to take down the Sakai, and now two members of No Limit is actually gonna just get away to safety. Lolita with that shield, trying to protect Sky as much as she can, and Obs
Launch
Exodus
attack.
just decided to disengage. No,
Where?
no round two. All right then. So This is actually a pretty fast-paced game because I was expecting like 6 or 7 minutes in. That's where the gangs and the fights are gonna start. But I guess No Limit just wants to capitalize on the idea that early game they have the advantage, and if they do hold on to that advantage, they can last up until 8 or 10 minutes in. Kamatis though got spotted there at the top lane, tried to pop his ult, but it just wasn't enough. And now Angela is here, left alone. Luminum Blast actually again hits no one. And I think this is the backup coming in. This is a 3v
still going.
now. Alright, but okay, that was safe. But everything, all of that chaos on the top lane. But then again, Thamos managed to take down this Claude again. I think this Claude may have a hard time scaling up or snowballing.
Yeah, you know, the fights just don't end here. We're gonna see another knockup land here onto the Harley, trying to get away, not gonna escape, but he will trade 1-for-1 now. You did mention the Claude struggling, and I think the Akai actually roamed down there to try and help the Thamos take him down, but yeah, you just mentioned the pace of this game, and it's very, very fast. Already 17 kills under 6 minutes. Now we're gonna see even more.
Alright, here we go. Here, Labanli Thamos has to initiate, and Phantom Seed gets popped again, but Lemar here at the front line, they are boxing in this kill VJ, but he's just too tanky. He managed to actually stay alive. Akai managed to take down Angela. Here we go. Other members of Obs Exodus trying to respond as much as they can, but Minotaur here at a bad spot, and he actually goes down. Leomord left alone, has no choice but to get away.
Yeah, Kamat is not gonna have the support of his team as No Limit just ran them all over. You did mention that this game was starting out very aggressive, but earlier they were keeping in pace with each other. But it seems like No Limit is beginning to pull away here in terms of kills.
Claude gets targeted again. Is he gonna die? Alright, he did manage to escape, but Akai popped his ult. He is trying to take down this Claude. Angela actually committed her ult onto this Claude. Lolita spots this Claude. Claude just keeps on running around, but he is just too squishy against this Lolita. Minotaur though, and another one from No Limit. Are they gonna go for round 2 or alright? They just decided to chill, no more, but roughly 7 minutes in and this Claude is 0-3-0. That's kind of a problem given that once your team gets Claude, the expectations kind of go off the roof, right?
Yeah, and you know, going back to the draft here, No Limit, they decided to give up Claude and Leomord during the pick and ban. But it seems like they had the perfect plan to shut him down because right now, Claude 0-3-0, not having the biggest impact on this game. And speaking of having a big impact, here's
Kravice actually being covered here. He does manage to take down Claude first, but it's a 3v1 situation. Here, Akai also pops his ult, and Sky gonna do the response. But what will happen? Ops Exodus here again. Lemur pops his Phantom Steed, but I don't think that's gonna be enough. Sky trying to get away, but this is a 1v4, and from there, it's pretty much given that Sky was gonna go down because roughly 8 minutes into a Kagura, even though you're 4-2, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, now look at the Thamos though in the bottom lane, trying to get that tower down. Now the rest of his team just trying to buy time, trying to stop the members of Exodus to get back to defend. 2 kills gonna go over to Exodus, but that is a tower in the bottom lane for No Limit.
That is true. So Claude is still trying to farm as much as he can because we all know he, Harley, and Leomar is going to be the main damage dealers for Obs Exodus once the late game starts. But do you think Claude can still do it?
You know, the way that No Limit is playing, they've already shut him down during the laning phase, but now I feel like if they're able to constantly force against Exodus, if they're constantly able to get them into fights that are unfavorable to them, I feel like the Claude won't get that point where he becomes a threat to No Limit, because right now the Claude's basically just trying to walk around them and get all its farm, but really not providing much in terms of team fighting.
That's true. He's just farming as much as he can, and I think in every gank's No Limit initiates, he's usually the one being ganked, and he hasn't responded much yet. So that's something we have to wait and see. Angela though, just there hiding. Do you think we're gonna see another team fight? Because
I want to see another team fight.
Obs Exodus is right there. Did you see the burst from Sky though? Just one skill and Harley's life actually went down by 2 bars. Here we go, Minutes are at the front line and Angela at the back, but
Oh,
alright. Flickers in. And Claude does actually pop his ult, and everyone's just jumping in. They're actually dishing out so much damage, but Obs Exodus is kind of in a bad spot. Claude manages to take down one, but No Limit is still at it. And I think more members of Obs is actually really low, so they don't have much sustain yet. Apparently, No Limit is on a killing spree. They don't want to stop it. Harley don't initiate it. They all have to retreat. They all have to calm down, but that was a kind of bad move for Obs Exodus.
Yeah, you see the aggression there from the minute. They're really forcing the issue for Exodus, trying to get that fight started. Now the Akai will be run down here. Will he go down? It's a 2v2, but not for long. 3v2 now. The show gonna arrive to clean up now.
Angela tried to save her teammate there, but it just wasn't enough. The moment she popped her ult, he was already down, and that's a double kill for this show. Okay, so they could go to the Lord now, I guess, since it's a free Lord. But alright, No Limit is targeting this. What do you think could Obs Exodus do to be able to turn things around? Or can they still turn things around?
The way this game is going, I don't think they can turn things around. Maybe they can try to go for a steal with this Lord. That would help them stall. But Mega Kill onto the Claude. Damage already gone. Exodus is gonna need to back off here, but the Akai running interference.
Yep, he's trying to zone them out as much as he can because No Limit is actually eyeing this sword, and non-contested managed to bag it, and now Minotaur left at the middle was again slain by this Skagor. Also, Claude being killed by Cho is not something I see every day, and I think there were 1v1 or 1v2 there, right?
Yeah, I think Cho was hiding in a bush somewhere and just got caught. But speaking of getting caught, the Harley gonna get knocked back towards the rest.
Caught right there at the mid lane. Now No Limit managed to take down this turret as well. They could go with the inhibitor turret, but now, did you see that burst from Sky? Leomord popped his Phantom City, but he's actually left there in the middle. Lolita flickers in with that Luminum Blast and managed to take Leomord down. Now they are just forced to back away, and now No Limit just decided to take down this inhibited turret. Slowly but surely, they can win this game. Obs Exodus though, trying to defend as much as they can despite the difference in their drafts.
Yeah, no, the inhibitor tower gonna go down there. Super Minion's gonna be flooding from the mid lane. No Limit wanting to end the game here, not even 12 minutes on the clock, but does Exodus have an answer to this? I think they're trying to buy time here. Claude once again gonna go down. This game looks over.
Alright, so actually, Persian did a really nice initiator, but the follow-up just wasn't enough. Again, Lolita with the Luminum Blast managed to get 2 or 3 heroes, but it was a game for No Limit. Not something I actually expect. Did you expect that?
You know, the way that it was going, it was very even for the first few minutes. But towards the end, I feel like the skirmishes just started going in favor of No Limit, and then eventually they pulled away with it. You know, we saw a lot of great engages from the